Our guest today was named Commissioner of the Department of Aviation by Mayor Daley just 8 weeks ago. Prior to that, she was responsible for the O'Hare Modernization Program. Now she has both jobs. Our guest today joined city government in 1990, working in various positions for the City Council's Committee on Transportation, the Mayor's Correspondence Unit, and the Department of Consumer Services. From 1995 to 1999, our guest today was an assistant to the director in the Mayor's Office of Intergovernmental Affairs. She also served as First Deputy Commissioner in the Department of Planning and Development. Our guest today is a native Chicagoan and a graduate of DePaul University. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome back to the City Club of Chicago, Rosie Andolino. Rosie? All right. Have some fun up here.
I will. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I know that this speech is what's keeping you away from potentially a Sox home opener, right? I'm surprised the room is so full. I think we were wagering a little bit last night with Chris Arman and Ellen O'Connor and Michael Boland from my team, how many people would actually still be here to hear the presentation. And I'm sure you all have bags in the car ready to change and run to the game. So Tim King say, yep. It's recreation. Well, good afternoon. And I want to say thank you to Jay. I really appreciate the opportunity again to come speak to the City Club. To talk to you about the O'Hare Modernization Program. You know, Mayor Daley's vision to build a 21st century airport at O'Hare. This is my fourth visit to address the City Club, but my first since Mayor Daley appointed me as Aviation Commissioner, in addition to my duties overseeing the OMP. And I'm aware that the former Aviation Commissioner, Rich Rodriguez, recently made a presentation here to talk to you about the Chicago airport system, because I was here as well. I learned a lot that day. I didn't realize why I needed to listen even more keenly. As most of you know, Rich has moved on to be president of the CTA, so congratulations, Rich. I wish you well in your new endeavor, and I thank you for all the things you've done at the Department of Aviation to make it a better place. So since you've recently heard about the Chicago airport system, and since I was supposed to focus on the OMP, we're going to stay with that in mind. And so today is going to be about the O'Hare Modernization Program. But if you would consider inviting me back, I would be happy to present my plan to improve Chicago's airport system as we combine the Department of Aviation with the O'Hare Modernization Program. And another appearance at the City Club will also allow me to complete my City Club mug collection. So I would really appreciate that. Thank you. So I want to begin my presentation today by acknowledging the leadership and vision of Mayor Richard Daley, because we wouldn't be here today without it. I'm also grateful for the continued support and commitment from the business community, the civic community, organized labor, and Dennis Gannon, Federation of Labor is here. Really appreciate your support. As well as our elected officials like Alderman Allen and our city council members, electeds from both sides of the aisle and across the country, as well as our airline partners, United and American. So let's take a few moments to review what we've accomplished on the OMP so far. In 2001, Mayor Daley said we would not use any state or local taxpayer dollars to fund the OMP, and we didn't. No local or state taxpayer dollars have been used to pay for any portion of our program. In 2004, we said we'd be ready to break ground immediately after receiving our record of decision, and we were. We broke ground the same day we received the record of decision from the federal government. When I spoke last here in June of 2007, I asked you to mark your calendars for the commissioning of 2 runways and an air traffic control tower. And we delivered. New runway 9 left and our new air traffic control tower opened on November 20th, 2008. Right on schedule, and I might add, $6 million under budget. In addition, we opened the extension of O'Hare's busiest runway, runway 1028, 56 days ahead of schedule and $33 million under budget. Finally, we made a commitment to the airlines that the OMP construction would not have a negative impact on their airport operations, and it has not. Thanks to the coordinated effort of the FAA, the Department of Aviation, and our airline partners, construction has moved forward, all the while maintaining existing flight capacity. So as you can see, the facts speak for themselves. We committed to moving this program forward in an open and transparent and safe manner, and we've met each and every milestone. As a result, we are nearing the completion of Phase 1 and beginning work on the remaining OMP projects. Now, we accomplished all of this because of the can-do spirit and hard work and dedication of members of what I call Team OMP. Time and time again, they have gone above and beyond to meet every milestone safely and efficiently. I'm extremely proud of my team members and what we've accomplished together. Some of them are here in the audience today. So if you can join me in please giving them a round of applause. My presentation this afternoon will cover 4 key areas: the benefits of our accomplishments, the future of the OMP, our sustainable initiatives, and why it's important to complete this program. The good news for air passengers and the airlines is that runway projects have already had a positive impact on operations at O'Hare, as well as the national aviation system. On O'Hare's South Airfield, the extension of runway 1028 gives the airport a 13,000-foot east-west runway. Now, this is significant for many reasons, but most importantly, it allows long-haul flights, such as the ones heading to Asia, Europe, or the Middle East, to begin to operate in O'Hare's final east-west configuration. And it gives us the ability to create more construction flexibility for the remainder of the project. As you remember, the flight caps, first put in place by the federal government in 2004, were removed last fall in anticipation of runway 9 left opening. In addition, runway 9 left means that for the first time, the airport can land 3 planes simultaneously in all weather conditions. In order to fully appreciate a triple simultaneous approach, you need to watch as it takes place. This animation provides a realistic portrayal of planes landing on each of O'Hare's east-west parallel runways: runway 28, 27 left, and 27 right. Now, isn't that spectacular? It reminds me of the unforgettable view I witnessed, and many of you in this room, when we were driving home on November 20th, on the evening of, after we opened those runways, and watching those triple approaches coming in from the east. It really gave us all goosebumps, and we were all talking about it the next day, and we continue to still talk about it. Since the new runway opened, the airport's performance has exceeded expectations. Air traffic controllers began utilizing new runway 9 left, 27 right immediately, and the airport's optimal arrival rate has increased. In fact, a preliminary comparison of average delays shows that O'Hare's on-time arrival rate has increased by 15% since the new runway opened in November. And I think United and American are truly appreciative of that for their customers. Air traffic on runway 9 left is being managed from our new air traffic control tower. Construction was completed in just 24 months, instead of the typical 40 months it typically takes to build a new tower. The tower represents our commitment to sustainability, a commitment that has influenced other airports, industry associations, and the federal government to think about ways to incorporate green initiatives into their projects. Now, with our 2 runway projects and our new tower in operation, only one infrastructure project remains for the first phase of the OMP. It's the construction of runway 10 Center, 28 Center. This runway is important for several reasons. First, the addition of runway 10 Center will further reduce delays at our airport. O'Hare delays will fall to an average of 10 minutes per flight when 10 Center opens. Runway 10 Center will also be able to be Group 6 capable, built to accommodate the new large aircraft. Now, 2009 is going to be a critical construction season for runway 10 Center. With nearly $500 million of work underway, Construction has already begun on the runway ends, and concrete paving is scheduled to begin later this spring. At the same time, several enabling projects will begin in the middle portion of the runway to clear the site. Now, my guys over here will tell me if we got this all right, I'm sure. First, we will start construction of our replacement cargo facilities for FedEx and United. Both buildings will feature green roofs and other environmental initiatives. In addition, we have to move the Union Pacific rail line to its permanent location. Many of you will recall that we had to move the rail line once before in order to operate the extension of runway 1028. Finally, we must move a cemetery. This process to facilitate the relocation of the cemetery is moving forward in the DuPage County court system. Now, once all of these projects are complete and the center portion is clear, we will pave the center and connect the two concrete ends. As we close out construction for phase 1, we're embarking on design work for the remainder of the OMP. Now, we announced back in February that the FAA approved the use of $182 million in passenger facility charges collected at O'Hare for the design of the remaining OMP projects. Once again, no state or local taxpayer dollars will be used to fund any portion of this program. Now I'm pleased to announce the firms that were selected to design the completion phase of the OMP. The H&TB team was selected to design runway 9 Center, 27 Center, the second runway to be built at O'Hare, fully compliant with Group 6 design standards. The Chicago Aviation Runway Designers, or CARD team, is a joint venture partnership that was selected to design runway 9 right extension project. And the O'Hare Runway Designers LLC team was selected to design runway 10 right, 28 left. In addition, Landrum & Brown was selected to conduct the planning study for our new Western Terminal complex. Landrum & Brown will provide conceptual layouts for multiple terminal development options. The concept is to build a terminal flexible enough to adapt to the changing needs of the aviation industry. These include a legacy carrier hub, mixed carrier common use gates, international carrier use, commuter regional carrier use, and many other options. The study will also examine connections from the new terminal to the existing terminal core and Terminal 5 via an automated people mover system. The study will also look at connections with local and regional roadway projects. The proposed Elgin O'Hare Expressway, for example, the proposed O'Hare Bypass Road, the extension of the CTA Blue Line, as well as the Metro Line connection. The study will be conducted over the next 12 months. Simultaneously, we are in discussions with our airline partners about the current status of the OMP, including funding for the completion phase. United and American have for years supported the runway projects at O'Hare, and they remain committed to our partnership to modernize our airport. Their support is truly appreciated. I expect these discussions to be successful and completed shortly. Construction for the remaining OMP projects will begin next spring. Our completion date for the entire program is still 2014. While there is pending litigation associated with our program, we continue to move the project forward. But as all of you know, time is money, and continued delays will ultimately affect our program schedule and/or budget. As we move forward with the remainder of the OMP, our commitment to employ the most progressive and innovative sustainable measures in the industry will continue. Under the mayor's leadership, the City of Chicago has achieved national recognition for being on the cutting edge of environmental-friendly initiatives. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that the mayor's influence would be evident on the OMP. In December of 2003, we unveiled the OMP Sustainable Design Manual, or SDM, a document that has become the model for airports looking to incorporate green practices on their construction projects. Since then, we have been invited to share our information with other cities and airports across the nation and around the world, who have sought our assistance on how they too can incorporate sustainable initiatives. Those of you who have worked on the OMP are very familiar with our SDM manual. It is distributed to all design and construction teams prior to any work beginning so that it is implemented from day one. The manual divides the OMP into 4 key categories: civil airside, civil landside, occupied buildings, and unoccupied buildings. We also developed a rating system to recognize compliance with the manual and reward design and construction accomplishments. The rating system, which awards anywhere from 1 to 5 green airplanes, allows us to measure our progress throughout the design and construction process. Earning even 1 green airplane on a project is excellent. It shows that a project has not only met all of its requirements, but has gone above and beyond to achieve extra points. Going green has had a positive impact on our program timeline and budget. Thus far, we've moved over 15 million cubic yards of soil to build the runways and supporting infrastructure for our project. Now that's enough dirt to fill the interior of the Sears Tower more than 7 times. What is even more impressive than that the total amount of dirt we moved, is that we've managed to keep all of that dirt on site. We saved well over $100 million in program costs by keeping the soil on site instead of hauling it away and dumping it into local landfills. The plan also served to reduce congestion on area roadways and eliminate emissions from trucks traveling off-site. Now this map shows the area where we moved soil and where it was stored on the airport grounds or used on other projects. The areas in red indicate where we've excavated soil, and the areas in blue are where we placed soil. Allow me to highlight, for example, the Runway 10 Center East Mass Grading Project. On that project, we've moved nearly 3 million cubic yards of soil to create the South Airfield Detention Basin, which you see in red, and fill in what we call Lake O'Hare, which you see in blue. These models demonstrate how the contractor was able to use a cut and fill method to excavate the soil from the red area and place it in the blue area, all the while maintaining detention capabilities. This efficient process allowed the contractor to not only handle the soil once, but it also shaved a year off of our construction schedule, and that's why we're pouring concrete on that end this spring. Another successful green initiative involves the requirement of our construction equipment. For example, we mandate that our contractors use ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel on and off-road equipment greater than 50 horsepower. Now, this was done 5 years ahead of the federal government's mandate. We also required all but the newest construction equipment to be retrofitted with either particulate traps or oxidation catalysts to further reduce emissions. To date, approximately 63% of all of the on-site equipment is Tier 2 compliant or newer. Additionally, the OMP has saved nearly $2 million by crushing concrete and asphalt on-site and reusing it throughout the program. This number will continue to grow as we move forward with our program. Another benefit of going green is that we have the opportunity to counteract the urban heat island effect generated by large amounts of impervious surfaces such as concrete typically found at an airport. The OMP is building 5 green roofs during the first phase of construction. 3 of them are already in use. One is on the base building of our new tower. The other is on the main airfield, main employee entrance, the guard post one into it looks like a canopy for a tollway. And and on top of our new electrical vault that services the entire airfield. Our FAA tower is the first in the United States with a green roof. And in addition to the green roof, the tower was designed to achieve a minimum 20% energy efficiency, reduce water usage by at least 30%, divert at least 50% of our construction waste from area landfills, and it uses low VOC emittance sealants, paints, and coatings, and many more initiatives, as you can see. During the tower's construction, when we went beyond the original design plans, using 100% purple board drywall for the interior, the best product available for deterring mold, and adding native shrubs, trees, grass swales, and planting beds to the original landscape design. The tower project design team was awarded 4 green airplanes, the highest rating to date, and the project is being evaluated for construction. In addition, we're applying to the United States Green Building Council, or LEED, for certification for our tower. Now, we are very pleased with United and FedEx that they've agreed to include green roofs on their replacement cargo facilities, adding nearly 350,000 square feet of green space at O'Hare. Construction for both projects will start this year. United Airlines cargo facility will feature nearly 130,000 square feet of green vegetated roof, covering 30% of their complex. In addition to the green roof, the building includes other sustainable features, such as strategically placed windows for optimal use of daylight, recycling 75% of the materials diverted from landfills, Energy Star compliant equipment, indoor CO2 monitoring for ventilation systems, and many more initiatives as shown. Meanwhile, the FedEx building will include close to 200,000 square feet of green roof coverage, as well as a 30% reduction in baseline water usage, the use of ozone-friendly refrigerants, 20% of the building materials from local sources, and many other initiatives. And I'm pleased to report FedEx is seeking to earn LEED Silver status for their administrative World Service Center of their complex. Now, both of these companies have really taken the initiative and are going green because it's the right thing to do. So let's give both United and FedEx a round of applause. Now, as a result of our sustainable efforts, the OMP has been recognized for excellence by the United States Green Building Council, Engineering News Record, and the United Nations Environmental Program for Livable Communities, just to name a few. We have been called a role model for other airport construction projects by Congress and recognized by government agencies for innovative and creative thinking. With over 5 years of experience with design and more than 3 years of experience on construction, it is the right time to revamp our Sustainable Design Manual. It will be updated later this year to incorporate lessons learned during Phase 1. The new manual will also include advances in technology as well as relevant updates for the next generation of LEED standards. In addition, we're working with the American Association of Airport Executives to host the second annual Green Airport Construction Workshop in Chicago in August. We hosted the first Green Conference in November of 2007, which attracted more than 130 professionals from throughout the United States and Canada. Besides sharing our successes, we are inviting other airport leaders to the conference to make presentations on how they are incorporating sustainability on their airport projects. We will also be working with the Atlanta-based Center for Transportation and the Environment to establish the Airport Sustainability Institute, an independent agency that would certify sustainable projects at U.S. airports. Their standards would be based in large part on our manual. The skeptics will say that going green costs more and doesn't save enough. But as you've seen today, our experience with the OMP proves otherwise. We've saved a lot of green by going green, and I believe we can do even better. In my new role as Aviation Commissioner, I see the opportunity to build on the airport's existing green initiatives for operations and maintenance by incorporating more LED lighting and energy-efficient equipment, expanding our recycling and water conservation efforts in the airport, creating a green concession program, and continuing our sustainable construction practices. These efforts will support long-term cost savings for the city and the airlines. Now, we've all seen the headlines that these are challenging times. So should we continue moving forward with the OMP? Well, the answer to that question is simply yes. Now, let me tell you why. First, we know the airline industry is cyclical. Flights are down today, but as they've done time and time again, the industry will adjust and come back even stronger than before. Why? Because air transport is the preferred method of moving people and goods safely and quickly across the globe. Demand for service in Chicago remains strong and continues to rise. One only has to look at what happened at O'Hare after September 2001 to see what will happen. You will recall air traffic plunged immediately, forcing several air carriers to seek bankruptcy protection, while others went out of business entirely. 3 years later, air passenger totals rebound nationwide. At O'Hare, we surpassed previous totals for flight operations in 2004, reaching an all-time high of more than 992,000 flights. Second, we are still one of the most congested airports in the country. Although flight activity is temporarily down, we must continue to modernize the airport to meet future demand. Modernizing O'Hare will increase its efficiency and reliability, which benefits the traveling public, our airline partners, and the national aviation system. Third, the OMP means economic development for our region. As you know, we are managing one of the largest construction projects in the country at one of the world's busiest airports. The OMP has truly been our region's economic stimulus package for the past 7 years, putting thousands of people to work, rebuilding our infrastructure, and keeping businesses here in our state and our city. So far, we estimate that approximately 550 design jobs and more than 12,000 construction jobs have already been created on this program. This year, nearly 1,400 construction jobs will be generated for Runway 10 Center alone. There will be an additional 200 design jobs created as we move forward with the design on the remainder of the program, as well as the additional work that we have yet to award for architectural engineering professional services work. The OMP will have a tremendous impact on our region's economy. It will create additional 195,000 new jobs for our region, and that's on top of the 450,000 jobs O'Hare generates today. It will add $18 billion to our region's economy, and that's on top of the $38 billion O'Hare generates today. So while the OMP will create tens of thousands of jobs over its lifetime, the majority of the employment and economic activity will be created once the entire OMP is complete. O'Hare is more than just a gateway for millions of travelers each year. It also serves as a vital role in global commerce. The airport transports 70 million passengers and ships more than 1.5 million tons of mail, freight, and express cargo each year. Businesses around the world depend on us, and we're poised to handle that growth in the future. Now, new international carriers and destinations speak to the airport's strengths, including nonstop service by Etihad Airways to Abu Dhabi starting this fall. And you just heard that Southwest is expanding its service now to LaGuardia from Midway. The global connectivity makes Chicago a prime location for Fortune 500 companies to establish their headquarters. Commerce in neighboring communities also benefits from increased traffic at O'Hare. For example, several businesses have been drawn to settle in Des Plaines and North Lake because of their proximity to the airport and access to area expressways and rail lines. The FAA estimates that O'Hare will handle nearly 1.2 million annual operations and 100 million passengers by 2030. Both significantly increased from the levels experienced today. Additionally, additional passengers mean increased spending at the airport and throughout the region. This leads to additional job creation at hotels, restaurants, and transportation companies, along with local businesses. Another industry of prime importance to the city of Chicago and the region is air cargo. Consider the fact that every freighter landing at O'Hare leads to an additional $3 million in business. In fact, O'Hare ranks second among the U.S. airports in terms of total cargo value. The increase in flight capacity resulting from the OMP provides the opportunity to carry more cargo on the passenger aircraft and freight airliners. This means more growth in new and existing industries, creating jobs in manufacturing and warehousing and handling of high-end goods, perishables, and other on-time sensitive industries. Labor, business, and civic communities throughout the region support the OMP because they realize O'Hare is the economic engine that drives our region's economy and keeps us moving forward. As you know, the OMP and the Department of Aviation now have been combined into one city department. We are excited about merging because it allows us to explore new ways to enhance the customer's experience at our airport. In my new role, I'm looking to you for some ideas and suggestions on how we can elevate the traveler's experience at the Chicago's airport system to one that is best in class. We have cards at every table. Those cards have our website on there, and I'm looking to you for your ideas and suggestions. So I encourage you to take those cards when you leave today. We have a link on our website so that you can give us other suggestions on ways we can improve your travel experience. We also remain committed to creating opportunities for our firms of every size and type competing for work at our airport. We are hosting our 9th contractor open house on Wednesday, April 22nd at the Fontainebleau. The event provides excellent networking opportunities along with bid package information for companies interested in working on OMP and Department of Aviation construction projects. We have accomplished a lot in the last 6 years. Since 2003, we opened 2 runway projects and a new tower on time or ahead of schedule and under budget. No state or local taxpayer dollars were used to fund any portion of our program. We created the most comprehensive sustainable initiatives in the airport construction industry, and we've started design work on the completion phase of our program. Now, we've met each and every milestone, and we've done so in an open and transparent manner. But this is no time to rest on our laurels. As you've seen today, there's much more work left to be done in order to complete the entire program by 2014. So, we will need your continued support. This week, members of the International Olympic Committee are here to evaluate Chicago's plan to host the 2016 Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games. At O'Hare, we had a unique opportunity to represent our city and welcome the committee members the moment they arrived. Now, more than ever, Chicago's spirit, energy, and pride will shine in the international spotlight. It's a very exciting time for our city. A world-class city like Chicago deserves a world-class airport system, one that is reflective of our great city, provides the highest levels of service, and is prepared to meet the demands for our future. Our plan to modernize O'Hare will do just that. With your continued support, we will fulfill Mayor Daley's vision to build an airport for the 21st century and bring the world to Chicago like never before. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
For those of you who have never been to one of Rosie's performances, it's never Ring Around the Rosie. This is high-level stuff. And all right. If we have any questions, which we seldom do because you should take your books and put them on the floor because the exam's starting right now. And lo and behold, are you lucky there isn't one. Are there any questions we have on your tables? I have one. Hand it to me. But you answered it.
Oh, good.
Well, almost. Did the OMP make a presentation to the IOC visiting Chicago this weekend?
Yes, we were part of the Transportation Committee that, with part of the bid book, addressed the O'Hare Modernization Program, what the airport was able to handle, the airport system, both Midway and O'Hare, and how it would move the people, and would we be prepared to accept the increase in traffic. And the answer to that, of course, is yes. Chicago today has 880,000 operations at O'Hare right now. As I said, in 2004, we had over 992,000 operations. So you could see right off the bat, we have a level of capacity that we can handle additional movements of operations, airplane movements. So with the Olympics, with the modernization program, with the new runway in place, all of those things add to the fact that we can continue to handle that growth, and we're prepared to handle 1.2 million flight operations in 2030. So we'll be ready.
Well, seeing no questions, it comes to your best time, Rosie. This should